How are you? How are you?
Good. Good. I'm just finishing breakfast here.
Are you chewing food on me?
No, I'm done actually. Okay, so couple of things. So there's this guy who teaches yoga. He's been doing like a free class. I think he said for like more than almost 300 days or more than that, 500 days or something. So every morning at 8:30 my time, he does this free class for people like all over the world. So this morning I joined in for the first time, and I've kind of been interested in this guy because he also teaches yoga teacher training programs, like 200-hour trainings, 300-hour trainings, and I believe even 500-hour trainings. So he's well connected in the yoga community, but there's been something going on with him, and I don't know why I sent him this message. Something popped up. Maybe it was on his story or something about the video about the yoga class. So I sent him a little message and I'm like, hey, when is it again? What time? And he sent me the link and told me the times. And for some reason, I said this to him. Have you started writing your book yet? I don't know if he's writing a book or not writing a book, right? Mm-hmm. But I said to him, have you started writing your book yet? And he answered, I don't know if I can, I'd like to, let me see if I can take this off my screen so I can get into my messages to read what was said. Can you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. Cool. So, not that one. I said, have you written your book yet? And I said that I've been living in, like a state of bliss and creation for a while now. And he says to me, love to hear it. No, I haven't gotten too far on writing my book. So apparently this is in his head about writing a book, right? Mm-hmm. I've been in a state of picking up the scraps / spare parts of my life, kind of flying by the seat of my pants in certain ways. Would love greater ownership of my life, more focus, more discipline to commit to things like taking the time to write my book, more organization and time management in my life. Those are growth zones for me. This guy is so well connected with yoga and with yoga teachers. And yoga teachers, especially when people go through that training, they do have some type of, transformation in their life. And I think that this guy might fit in really well with your program. Mm-hmm. Like, it sounds like, because he's got a lot going on for him. He's looks like he's living, from the outside, it looks like he's living, a pretty good life. He travels a lot. He just drives around all over the place teaching yoga. But the connections that he has with people like yoga teachers who are interested in self-development and that kind of thing, this might be some type of opportunity. I just, everything he said there, I was like, oh, this is Allan, this is Allan, this is Allan, this is Allan. So what are your thoughts on that?
Sounds wonderful. Sounds wonderful.
Yeah.
What do we do about it?
I'll send you the guy's name. Yeah. Do you want me to ask him if he's actually committed to doing something? But I wanted to talk to you first because I don't want to make any presumptions on, on behalf of you, what, how you might be able to help him or whatever. So I thought I would talk to you about it.
Are you saying that he, first of all, are you saying that he himself needs to go to the next level and might need some coaching, or he?
Yes, definitely. From what I just read, let me read it to you one more time. Okay, love to hear. No, I haven't gotten too far in writing my book. I've been in a state of picking up the scraps / spare parts of my life, kind of flying by the seat of my pants in certain ways. Would love greater ownership of my life, more focus, more discipline to commit to things like taking the time to write my book, more organization and time management in my life. Those are growth zones for sure. For me,
Well, it's very simple. If you want to connect him with me, it's a very simple conversation. You say, oh, thank you so much for responding. I don't know if you're open to this, but something really clicked inside me when I read your response to me. Everything you said about where you need to work, the areas of your life right now that you need to work on to get to the next level. Everything you said, I kept thinking about my colleague, Alan Knight, a former Zen monk, who's created a holistic program that's all about the things you talked about: inner power, motivation, stress management, self-mastery, focus, mental toughness, and effective communication, or however you want to say it. Would you be interested in me connecting the two of you? Because I have a feeling you would have a good conversation or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just seeing this in my head. I'm just seeing like him going through your program and it like truly like benefiting his life and
Yeah, because if
him
he
get
sees that it's done, then he might bring on my program as a separate program that he promotes, and I can give
that's
him,
what I'm thinking.
I
That's
give
what
him a
I'm thinking.
commission and you get a commission on all of it as well.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not even thinking about anything monetarily here right now. I'm just like in my head, it just clicked with me like this guy could really benefit from your program. But because of his connections, because he's already a teacher and a damn good teacher, um,
Yeah, the fact by
after
you saying former Zen monk will give me some credibility that he'll
yeah,
realize, but he's far, what you could say when you said he's a former Zen monk, but he's developed a program that goes far beyond meditation and spirituality. It connects the human aspects of who we are with the spirituality, and you might enjoy talking with him.
yeah, okay, I'm gonna reach out to him. I just wanted to talk to you about it first. But when I read that message, I was just like, holy shit, is this the universe saying like this is like a, because when you put things out what you want, you have to be able to take note of little nuances or little, some person coming to, into your life in some way. Like, why are they there at that particular time? Right. So I think that this might be like a really good opportunity for him and for you and for all of his students and followers too.
Well, it's wonderful. And, I thank you for thinking of me now. Having said that, I want to say two things about that. Number one, I'm grateful that you thought of me and you see an opportunity. But quite often, and maybe I'm wrong, but I'm just going to say what I'm going to say.
You always do anyway.
Good point. Uh, good point. Is that whenever I talk about, I want you to benefit from it, you kind of put it down as if, no, I don't want to think about myself. I don't want to think, but I really question that, because the thing is, there's for two reasons. I think that you've over the years, with all your brilliance, with all your qualities, and we've talked about them quite often, you also limit yourself and you put yourself a little in the back burner. And you should really value this. And also, not only is it good for you, it's good for me, because
Yeah.
if you see value in what I do and you see value in yourself, because you're a networker and you're a connector, you should be paid. You deserve to be paid. And it goes back to this thing about what happened in the clinic that we talked about a couple of weeks ago. You're always on the back burner, not empowering yourself enough. And I think you have to shift in that. That's my opinion. You have to shift and own it,
Yeah. Okay. I appreciate that and I accept that and I agree with you. So let me rephrase this. This could be a really good opportunity for me. This could be a really good opportunity for you. This could be a really good opportunity for the person that I'm talking about and all the people that he has got connected with. It could be
Right.
a great opportunity for all of us.
Correct. Very good. Now, having said that, I want to share, unless there's anything else you want to say about this subject, I wanted to share something about something you texted me last night about your call with your mother.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah. No. And there's one other thing that I want to, at the end of that, there's one other thing that I want to talk to you about as well. It's just a small little detail, but it came to my mind this morning, so I thought I'd throw it out at you. Okay, go.
Okay, so go now, go, Al, go. When I got your text about your mother, first of all, I resonated with it 100%. And I knew exactly what you were experiencing, because, and I'm going to give you my own little quick story and you'll understand why I'm connecting the two. when I moved to Vancouver, and I always lived in the shadow of my brother, I think I've told you that many times before.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
one of
you
my
have.
big lessons in the world had very much to do with owning my own power, because I was so preoccupied with trying to prove myself to my family, to my brother, to my, to my aunts, to my uncles, to my cousin. And I was often get caught in trying to build myself up to prove myself to them. And I always felt shitty when they say, well, what are you doing now? Oh, and why did you live like a monk and all that stuff? And it caused such anger and
Mm-hmm.
resentment in me. And then
Yeah.
every time I'd go back to Montreal, because I was living in Vancouver, it was almost like a test to see how far I came. And one year I felt better and better and better about myself. And I returned home and I was going to meet my Aunt B at the time. And I knew going into that conversation that she was going, so how are you doing? What are you doing? And how come you live like a monk? She'll say the same things over again. And this time I was ready for that question, that kind of talk. I said, Aunt B, how are you? And I didn't even give a chance for her to ask any questions about me. I said, let's talk about Daddy, and I want to reminisce, and I want you to tell me, what was it like when you came in from Romania? And I took charge, and I had fun, and I made it light, because I took control of my situation. I knew if I was going to allow her to take over the conversation, it was only going to go haywire. The second thing, so that was one way of me turning around, anticipating that, oh, I know what's coming. I can feel it's coming. What are you doing now? And so I nip it in the bud before they even went down that road. Now, if they went down that road, like your road, when you talked about your writing, yes, you're writing, and yes, you're a prolific writer, and yes, you're going to write many books, but you're so much more than that. You are doing amazing things. And if I was in your situation and your mother asked you, what are you doing? Wow, am I doing exciting? I'm now working as a sales and marketing coordinator for an international personal development company called Knight International Network. I'm working with Alan Knight, and I'm doing this, and I'm starting to write my book, and we're going to be doing podcasts together, and it's totally exciting.
Yeah.
As opposed to I'm writing. Writing, if you just say you're writing, you're doing much more. You're doing much more than writing. You got to embellish who you really are. And it's not fake it until you make it. It's real, and it's only going to get more real. But you are special. So again, don't diminish yourself, even if it's a bit of a white lie massaging of your words, so to speak.
Yeah, and I feel like it's maybe difficult for her to understand, because I've told her, about our podcast and about, what we're working on together. And I've told her that I've been doing a lot of writing, and she's like, well, what are you writing about? And I think that maybe one of her concerns is, some time ago, a couple of years ago, I told my mom that I was going to be writing about the cult that I grew up in. And, I think she was really taken aback, and she's one of these people, like white picket fence, like she doesn't want anybody knowing that anything was ever wrong in our family, or people knowing about the shit that went down. Right. And so I think maybe that's in the back of her mind. And it's hard for me to explain to my, 81-year-old mom what it is that I'm writing. It's hard to explain some of this stuff to people who haven't experienced like some type of spiritual shift or enlightenment in their life.
Okay, so
It's
here's the thing, exactly what you're talking about. I learned long ago this terminology, which I think I told you before, this phrase, discriminating wisdom. And I always ask myself, what is the most appropriate way to deal with the person in front of me? My family members are probably the least likely to hear me talk transparently about everything I do, because I already know going in that these particular individuals are either not open, would prejudge it, wouldn't be receptive to it. So I choose to keep our conversation a little bit more superficial, a little lighter, a little bit more fun, to protect them from overreacting, for protecting me from getting disappointed because I'm trying to be myself and they're not knowing or respecting who I am. Because there's something called discriminating wisdom. You don't just tell the truth. This thing about being authentic, doesn't mean you communicate your truth to everybody in the world, or else men would be walking in the street, walking all day long, walking up to women and say, can we fuck now? Can I have sex with you now? If they were going to be authentic, that's what they would be doing all day and all night. So being
Yeah.
authentic, it doesn't mean being authentic stupidly. It means selectively and wisely. So if your mother, if you know that your mother is going to get triggered by you talk, you don't have to say you don't even have to say you're writing. You're doing so much more than writing. You're connecting people. You could say that you're the marketing manager, the assistant, not assistant. You're my executive assistant or partner in my program. We're setting a podcast. We're writing the second part of a book together. You're doing your own thing. You teach other things. You teach yoga or whatever you do on the side. You're doing a lot of things, and you are. And so embellish that. And so that, because you're there to motivate everybody, including your family, without you having to dip in to subjects that are only going to cause them to react. Why cause an 81-year-old to needlessly suffer? They don't need to. I would never talk to my 81-year-old parent or grandparent or whoever it was about things that I knew that they knew nothing about, would only react. Just have fun with them. Let them get my joy. That's all that's needed. Get my joy. However much, however way I make them joy. Don't have to be honest with everybody, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. You know, and then she'll say things like, oh, it'd be really good if you got a job as a secretary or, you know, just worked in an office and something. And I'm like, well, maybe, but I'm up to much bigger things than that. You know, like I realize I am up to way bigger things than working a 9-to-5 job.
But that's my point. In your answer, you're much more than saying I'm writing, because it sounds like you're writing. Oh, she has nothing to do. She doesn't have a job and she's just pondering around, putzing around with writing. That's going to get her nowhere. She's not going to make enough money. By saying those words, you then paint a picture for her, which is not even accurate about the greatness of who you are. Now, if you had saying, I am so excited. I've got 3 projects that are complementary. The podcast, I'm working with Allan as his executive assistant. I'm writing the beginnings of my book. We're filling in a book together. We're doing some exciting things, and you embellish the story to the point where she then wouldn't say, oh, why don't you get a job? No, you crazy? Didn't that inspire you, what I just told you? She wouldn't likely say anything. All I'm saying is be wise in how you answer, so you put yourself in the best foot forward. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. And you know, when you're having communications with somebody, when something just feels like awkward and stuck and something just feels, you know what I mean? I think that is probably the opportunity for me anyway. I get these little feelings like, don't like this, because something isn't right. That's the moment that I need to like take control of the situation and not let the other person take control of the conversation. Whenever I get that little moment, that's the time
also when I get on the phone with my family, let's say even my brother's wonderful, he's intelligent, he's open, he's got a good sense of humor, but I know that he's the kind of guy he'll always like to, so how's things going? How's your business going? You know, and because I know that's coming, I'll first of all, when I call him, I ask him, so how's this person? Because I genuinely want to know, how's the nieces, how's the nephews, how's it? He'll update me. And then before he even begins his questioning of me, I said, yeah, and I just update you on things. I've been really super busy. I'm involved in this exciting project, And also, I connected with this person in Sweden last week, and this had and I'll say a few things which are real. And he said, oh, that sounds exciting. That sounds good. Yeah, I'm really excited. Happy to be back in Montreal, and everything goes well. And he won't pry into, so how are you doing? How many clients do you have? You know, or that kind of thing. Just take charge of, you create with your family, especially, just get them motivated, get them excited by what you say. That's all I'm saying.
Okay. All right. Yeah, that makes total sense. Okay. Thanks for that.
Yeah, you were going to say something else, I think.
By
the way, when I was just talking to it, did I get too excited in too passionate in my conversation?
No. I mean, you always get excited in your conversations, but that's one of the great things about you. I mean, it's not like you're speaking from the heart. It's not blah, 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 right?
But I got to tell you, thank you for that. That's true. But one thing I was
Yeah.
going to say to you, and then I'll shut up and listen to what you want to say. Um, we've known each other a long time. We've never had the quality of some fairly consistent conversations the last 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Never have we had a series, which I think goes to the evolution also of not just, for both of what I've gone through, what you've gone through, but just talking about you, that your transformation recently and your elevation to a whole new state of awareness and development sounds like it's real, because you're showing up not just once in a while, you're actually showing up every day consistently. And I notice it, and I want to acknowledge you for that.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And I agree with you. Like it's not even a question for me anymore. It's like, I'm getting up tomorrow and this is what I'm doing. I'm going for my walk. If a friend calls me and they're all in a tizzy and a panic or whatever, they're going to have to wait unless it's one of my children and it's urgent. I used to drop things all the time for other people. Like I wanted to do this, and somebody would call me and all of a sudden their needs became more important than my needs.
Yeah.
And I'm not doing that anymore. I have to, do what's right for me, and I'm doing it.
That's part of why that's part of why I wanted to really hone in on that response to you about being open to benefiting even from what I'm doing, because it's going to make me more secure. If you really see it as part of yours, then that's going to empower you significantly. And it's also going to give me more trust and confidence that you're going to actually make it happen. So it's good for both of us. So the more you get powered, well, you see, but if you just say, oh, I'd like to help you out, Alan, I appreciate it. You're loving, you're kind, but I know it wouldn't work as well that way.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. Okay. Thank you for that. I appreciate it. And I will take that to heart, and I will, use that when these conversations come up with my mom. And it's usually the conversations are quite, like they're an hour long, and it's usually almost every day. And I want to pick up the phone as many times as I can, because I know I still have my mom. A lot of my friends don't. And so I want to be able to, have good conversations with my mom. And sometimes sometimes she talks about the same thing that she talked about yesterday, on the day before and the day before. But I just always act like I'm hearing it for the first time. And, okay.
I'm just looking at your picture. You look like a magician in that picture. It's a beautiful picture, by the way.
Oh, that one on my Zoom thing, that was from Halloween, not this year, but last year.
You look like a magician.
Yeah, I kind of was like a ringmaster or something. I don't know. I don't know.
It's such a classic picture of you. It's a great branding. It's a great branding.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, I usually I'll try to like develop some type of costume, and I'll go to Value Village with nothing in mind, right? And I don't look at the pre-made costumes. I'll find like one item. And I think the item that I found was the jacket. And it might have been like a menswear type of thing. And then I just kind of built I put out to the universe, I need a top hat for this outfit. So I go out to this giveaway place at Silver Lake. It's by the garbage disposal thing. You might have heard me talk about this place before. I've got a whole other book to write about just that place. So there's a tent there that people leave things, and you can, leave anything that somebody else could use. And there's everything in there, from furniture to books. There's a lot of books in there. Suitcases, clothes, like anything that somebody else could use. And I put out to the universe that I needed a top hat. So I went to that giveaway place, and I usually go there every day because it's just so damn interesting going there. And what was there? Top hat.
Wow.
I was like, okay, I'll take it.
But
yeah, we have to have a whole conversation about that place.
Because you seem like someone who's very resourceful. Am I right?
Oh, I would think so. Yeah.
Yeah, I would think so. By the way, last night I met a guy that I hadn't seen for a long time, and he travels all across Canada because he has a He's owned the company for many, many years. He told me that as the start of COVID, the first year of COVID, his company made more money in that year than the previous 5 years combined. They make medical supplies. They distribute medical supplies to manufacturers, to distributors. And with COVID, with the mask and a whole bunch of other medical supplies, they just exploded. And so I said, where do you travel? Because he had met me in Vancouver when I was there. And he says, no, I travel everywhere, even Alberta. I said, well, where in Alberta? Calgary and Edmonton. Oh, I even go. I said, what about Red Deer or Sylvan Lake? Have you ever heard of Sylvan Lake? He said, yeah, I've heard it. But I think he visited Red Deer with his company.
Oh, wow.
How far is Sylvan Lake from Red Deer?
Oh, it's not far. I think it's is it maybe 25 kilometers or something like that? It's like a 10 to 15-minute drive.
Is it a town in itself, Sylvan Lake?
Sylvan Lake?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's still a town. Like we have a library, we have a skating rink, we have a Walmart, we have a Canadian Tire, we have a Sobeys, we have a No Frills. So we've got like when I moved here, this town was pretty small. Like we didn't have any of that stuff. We had like a couple of small grocery stores, but for anything other than just basic groceries, we had to go to Red Deer all the time. But now if you're working in Sylvan Lake, there's not really a reason that you have to go to Red Deer all the time.
Is that where you were born?
1 second here. Hey, Google, stop. Got my timer on for my hair color. Okay, I've got 10 more minutes.
Okay.
Sorry.
Oh yeah, because you wanted to talk about something. Okay, go ahead.
No. Sorry, 1 second. I'm putting color on my eyebrows now.
Oh.
You should see the visual of this.
Yeah, so am I.
You're putting color on your eyebrows too. It's not a competition, Alan.
Okay.
You don't have to do everything that I do,
Oh, I like to follow the coming of the next Messiah. I like to follow her.
Yeah. Okay, so the only other thing that I wanted to talk to you about, when I was out for my walk this morning, like hold on, I got to get this other color on this other eyebrow or I'm going to be like lopsided. What do you think about the term AKF?
Who?
AKF. Allan Knight. AKF. Allan Knight formula.
AKF.
Yeah, Allan Knight formula.
You mean you're talking about naming my program that?
Yeah, or using it or something. I don't know. Does it?
Allan Knight formula. You mean as opposed to limiting to calling it a specific like Zen zone mindset or assertive confidence?
Yeah.
I've often wondered about
maybe both, like maybe use AKF, like Allan Knight formula, and then use the Zen zone mindset as like a subtext or something.
Well, I could AK formula.
AKF. Yeah.
AKF.
It kind of sounds like what's that?
Doesn't it sound like a rifle?
Yeah, it does kind of like, it sounds like one of those automatic weapons, but not exactly,
AKF.
AKF. F. Allan Knight formula.
F is in fuck.
Yeah, formula. F is in formula.
AKF. I'd have to get used to it. I have to dwell on it. I think I'd have to digest that. Where did you come up with that?
I was just out on my walk this morning and, certain things, well, there's always things coming and going through my brain. Mm-hmm. Some of them settle in, most of them just keep going. But yeah, I was thinking like AKF, that sounds good. It's like, when Kentucky Fried Chicken went to KFC.
Yeah.
AKF, Allan Knight formula.
Okay, I'm going to think about that. And I was thinking about a name for our podcast with Elaine. And by the way, it became clear to me that Elaine should come before Allan, because if you say Elaine and Allan, it flows on the tongue. Elaine and Allan, Elaine and Allan. But Allan and Elaine, it's hard. Allan and Elaine. It doesn't flow as much. Elaine and Allan. Elaine and Allan. Elaine and Allan.
Set timer for 10 minutes.
10
minutes. Sorry, I just had to set my timer for 10 minutes. Yeah, okay, I agree with that. I think it does sound better.
Okay, so Elaine and Allan. Now, I
Yeah.
still think it would be fun if we found the right couple of words as a grabber. It would be
Yeah.
something with Elaine and Allan,
Yeah.
something with Elaine and Allan, like speak up with Elaine and Allan. Let's connect, let's talk with Elaine and Allan, or something like that, you know? Maybe
Yeah.
maybe not
Well,
so boring as that. I don't know.
well, I don't know. Maybe we should go about it organically. Like, what do we say to each other? Like, when you want to talk to me, what do you say?
I say
And
you're
what
the I say
when I
you're
want
the
to talk
great.
to you,
I say, oh,
what?
holy one.
No. Well, okay, yes, but like if I send you a message, if I have an idea, I want to talk to you about something. What do I say to you? Do you have a minute? Or do I say what do I say to you when I want to talk to you?
Well, you say when you text me, you mean?
Yeah.
When you text me, you say, I need to pick your brain, which is not appropriate here because it's not so much picking my brain or ask the coach. It's more of a two-way you and me
Yeah.
together, you know, it's not the same. So I don't
Yeah.
know
Well, you
if,
know what? Let's just we'll start our thing anyway. But well, I guess we've already started. But let's see how we communicate with each other. Like if you want to talk to me about something, let's see how let's go back in all of our messages and see what we've said to each other when we wanted to
oh,
talk.
yeah, that would be good. I now remember what I thought of this morning. I thought, as you notice, I took charge to record our conversation now.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna download it so we both have a copy, irrespective of whether we want to use it or not. But what I was thinking at the time, I would label it for now, and we could change it anytime we want. Listen in with Elaine and Allan, April 23rd, 2022, for conversation number 1. So in other
Yeah.
words, listen in, meaning people are listening in to our conversation. And you and I are listening, hopefully, to each other as we talk. Listen in, listen in, listen in. So it's kind of, people are kind of checking in. Like I noticed, you know, on the media right now, every second video is about the court case between, what's his name?
Oh, Johnny Depp and Amber Heard. Yeah.
Right. So often they're having people listen to court, the jury is listening in to, I can't believe how drunken states they were in when they were doing this, but they're listening in to their conversation. And so they're getting a peek into their life. And so that's where the expression listen in came in. Listen in with Allan and with Elaine and Allan. You're going to
You know
listen
what?
into their.
Let me digest that for a little bit for the next day or two
Yeah.
as well. I don't mind that at all.
So what I'm going to
I
do
don't
is I'm
mind
going
that
to
at all.
send you, I'm going to download it, send it to you with the words I just chose, and listen into a little bit. I'll listen in.
Okay.
And then
All right.
we'll know what we want to do organically. We'll just do it. And if we don't come up with something right away, we'll just put a conversation with Elaine and Allan, April 23rd,
Yeah.
whatever.
Okay.
Good.
All right. That sounds good. I'm gonna run right now because I gotta get this
Any wonderful thing you want to say about me before we go?
I think you're amazing. I feel a lot of gratitude to have you as my friend. I feel a lot of gratitude for the mentorship that you've given me and the direction that you've helped me go in my life. And I think you're an amazing person, and the world is a better place because you're in it. And I love you.
Oh, that's so nice. I shouldn't have asked. That was a bit pompous of me to ask the question.
No, I'm glad to tell you that.
Okay, I love you too.
Okay. All right. We'll talk soon.
Okay.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.